Welcome back to the channel, everybody, for another ESO build video. I'm your boy Fuzzy Jugernaut. Today I'm going to be showing you my Magplar build for the Flames of Ambition no proc CP. But before we get into the build, if you like this channel or the content on here, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and push that notification bell to get the latest content from this channel. But now let's get into it. So just to say, it's been a little bit laggy for me lately, and it's not been the easiest to even be able to play in Cyrodiil right now. It seems like yellow runs everything and then blue runs everything in Grey Host, so it's been a little difficult to get some fights, but overall it's not bad, and I actually like this patch a lot. For the most part, it's just a little irritating because of the lag, and every time I go into my inventory to like change something out, I end up getting like a freeze screen or blue screening or getting lagged out. So I'll have more gameplay coming soon. I'll show you that, but for the most part, this patch, this build is a lot of fun. It does really good damage. We have good survivability. Our armor is not the highest, but we're able to maintain because our heals are really strong. Overall, the Magplar in the no proc Cyrodiil is extremely fun to play, and it's by far one of my favorite characters right now. Overall, the build's got great survivability, good sustain, and really good damage. So if you like playing Magplar or are interested, make sure you give this build a try. It's a lot of fun. Plus, I'll have two other builds that I've already built for the Magplar that are really good. One will have a little bit more damage, a little less sustain, and the other one will actually have a little bit more tankiness with a little less damage. But I'll stop talking and I'll let this clip finish playing out, and then we'll get right into the build. Alright, here we are. Let's check out the character sheet. So we're sitting at 34,000 max magic on the front bar, 2,000 magic at recovery, almost a 1k health recovery. We have 29,000 max health. Actually, it's like 27.8. We have Emperorship right now, so that will only be about 28k, 27.8, something like that. 14,600 stamina with 660 stamina recovery. We have 4192, almost 4,200 spell damage unbuffed. We have 30% crit. 11,811 spell penetration. That goes up to 17,000 spell penetration, so you got more than enough penetration. Then we have 2,000 spell resistance and 14,000 physical, or 14.5 physical resistance with almost 2k critical. Now for the back bar, a little bit less stats on everything besides the health, and the recoveries, but everything else is a little bit lower. But that's not to worry, except for our resistances. They're going to be a little bit higher. So now let's buff up a little bit. So front bar, let me put a pot on too. So front bar, a little bit higher. We're sitting at 4591. We have 2527 recovery, 1228 health recovery, 26 spell resistance, and we had like 21 physical resistance. This will go up, especially if you get continuous attack and all the other buffs. Plus, it goes up to about 6.3k when we have all of our buffs up, including our major sorcery. Back bar. Not going to put all the buffs on, but just to show. Back bar, we're sitting outside of the room. We're at 28k and 22,500 physical. So we have 64 points into Magicka. I am an Argonian on this build, but you can actually go Dark Elf. Dark Elf will give you a lot more Magicka and more stamina, and about 258 or 38 more damage. So it's up to you what you want to run. You can run any magic race you want. I just had Argonian on this guy. We are running Clockwork Citrus Fillet for our food. This is I know expensive food, but it's a must-have in this time. So I would highly suggest trying to get this. You can run Bewitched Sugar Skulls. You'll have a little less Magicka recovery, but you have more health and overall stats and health recovery. It's completely up to you and optional, so choose what you want. And then we have the Jugernaut for Magicka recovery. You can go for more penetration if you'd like. Go with the Lover, or you can go with the Apprentice for more spell damage. That's also optional. I chose to have the recovery because I like to play with a little bit more recovery. So that's just me, personal opinion. Now let's go into our inventory. So for our slottables, we're going to be using Cry Trauma Restoration Potions. You can use Essence of Health, Tri-Stat Pots. It's up to you what you want to use, or you can use Immovability. For our first set, it's going to be Spinners. We have the Spinner's Greatsword. I have a Berserker enchantment on here with Sharpen. Sharpen is a must in my opinion. This is going to bring us to that 17k tooltip for our penetration. You can go Nirnhome, but I wouldn't suggest it. This is going to give us Max Magicka spell damage, and then 3,379 spell penetrations. Really good set. Our back bar, we're running Spinner's Mace and Spinner's Shield, so Sword and Board. Preferably reinforced on the shield, and you could run whatever you'd like on this piece right here. You don't have to run Sword and Board. You can actually put on, where is it, a Restoration Staff if you'd like. You can go with Resto Staff if you want. I have a Defending Resto Staff. Or you can go with, let's see here, where is it? Inferno or Lightning Staff. I know that sounds crazy and weird, but it will allow you to put Elemental Drain on your back bar and put it on your target. So it's completely up to you. I've just been running with Sword and Board on the back bar for myself. Let's put this back on. Okay. For our first piece of Monster Helm, we're running Balorg's Heavy. So this is 3 heavy, 4 light. I have Impen on this. A max health, you can take the max health off and put on Magicka, but I just left the max health on there to help boost my health up a little bit, so I could be almost at 28k. Then we have Kraganax Hope, which is our second 5-piece set. I have Max Magicka Enchants on here, and then pretty much everything's impenetrable besides like 2 pieces. This is going to give us Max Magicka, Max Magic Recovery, and then Health, and then it's going to give us 214 spell damage. Doesn't seem like a lot, but it gives us a nice resource and stat pool of everything that we need. Overall, I like this set a lot, and it really helps out with my playstyle. You don't have to run this. I have 2 other builds for the Magplar that I'll be putting out too that I use, but overall I like this one a lot, and so far it's been my favorite one out of the other ones. Then we have Dami House. This is going to give us max stamina and max magicka. This is Divines. You can go with Reinforced or Impen or whatever else you'd like. Max magicka enchantment on this one. Then we have Kraganat's Belt, Impenetrable, max magicka. Krag's Impenetrable, max magicka on the arms. This is light. Pretty much we made the heavy pieces just the legs and the chest and the head to get the max stats out of it. Impenetrable, max magicka on the pants, and then Reinforced, max magicka on the shoes, which is also light. It's a craftable set too, just so you know. Then we have Spinner's Jewelry on all 3 pieces. I have Infused spell damage on this one, Infused spell damage, and then I have Infused with Magicka Recovery to push us at that 2k mark. Now let's go into our skills. I swap my skills around quite a bit, so as you'll notice in the videos and stuff, but this is just the gist in the overlay. So we have Solar Barrage, Inner Light, increase our crit, Radiant Oppression, which will be our execute, deals a lot of damage. Then we have Toppling Charge for our gap closer. Then we have Puncturing Sweeps as our main spammable. And then we have Crescent Sweep as our ulti, does a good amount of damage to all the players in front of you. Then on our back bar, running Channel Focus to give us our Major Resolve, Extended Ritual for our cleanse. We have Honor the Dead for our heal. We have Degeneration to give us Major Sorcery. Then I run Ransack. If you run Sword and Board, you can run Ransack. This is how I'm playing it. You don't have to play it this way. I know it seems sort of crazy. You can actually take this off and put on Elemental Drain if you want to go for the Destro on the back bar to get your Major Breach that way. It's completely up to you, or you can put whatever else you would like here. It's optional. And then I have Remembrance on the back bar. You can go with the Sijic Order one. Or whatever ulti you would like on the back bar. I just have this on here for a massive heal, but I hardly ever use it. Alright, let's head into our champion points. So these can be a bit confusing, and I'm pretty sure not everyone has them down. People are getting them down now, but I feel that I'm decent at them. I'm constantly switching them around though, and that's me for each playstyle, race, character, class, and all that stuff. So that's just me, but you don't have to go exactly how I have them here, but this is what has worked best. So starting it off, I always start with our passives just in the beginning right here to unlock the trees. So Eldritch Insight is important, gives us max magicka, which is really nice. Then I come over to the Staving Death. Staving Death, I put 40 into quick recovery, so we have 4% healing. You can put points into critical resistance if you want, but we're at 2k crit resist on this build, so I feel that's more than enough. And this one you actually have to slot in your champion bar. As you can see up at the top, all these blue right here, you're only allowed 4, and so you have to pick and choose what you want to run. If you want to go with all damage or half damage, half resistances, it's completely up to you. But anyways, we're going to unlock this passive. You only have to have 10 points into this, but I have 40 because we want a little bit of extra healing. Then this gives us Hardy. I'm going to put 30 points into Hardy. This is going to reduce our damage taken by martial attacks, which is stamina based attacks, physical, poison, disease, and bleed. Really helps against night blades and bows and DKs and stuff like that. 3%, which will allow us to unlock the trees out there, which I'll get to in a second. But overall, after that, you want to make sure that you have your 4 champion bars. First, put your points into here, which you're going to need. And that's pretty much how you want to start it out, and then you start working your way down. Then we can unlock this. Duelist Rebuff. This is important in my opinion. This can save your ass a lot. It reduces your damage taken by single target attacks by 2% per stage. 10% damage mitigation, which is really nice. So pretty much Sorks, Nightblades, anyone like with direct damage attacks that hit really hard, and especially like everyone's already figuring out that Sorks and Nightblades hit the hardest, and DKs hit really hard too, but this just stops a lot of those direct damage attacks on you and mitigates the damage. Then I put 50 points over in here on Tame Aggressor to give us 150 weapon and spell damage. This will be our second buff on our champion bar. Then we're going to go to here. Got to put points into here. Piercing's a must. Put 40 points into piercing. This is going to give us our offensive penetration. I have 20 into magical status effect, but I really don't need it for this build, so I could take those out. I just left them in there for right now. Then our other two are going to be Deadly Aim and Biting Aurora. Biting Aurora is going to be essential. This is actually buffs your jabs and your other abilities. It doesn't buff up your Jesus Beam or Radiant of Glory or your top lane charge, but mainly this buffs up our jabs and everything else we're doing. So this is your main source of damage right here. You want this one. Now Deadly Aim also buffs them up, but not as much as Aurora. So I have 40 points into Deadly Aim, but you don't actually have to have them in here. If you take the points, 40 points out of here and didn't have Deadly Aim, it will actually take it to about, what was it? I think instead of like 33 something, it'll take it to like 32. You only lose like 180 on your jabs, so it's not too bad. You don't have to put them in there, but I left them in there because it buffs up the Jesus Beam too. Thaumaturge would actually buff them up more since they're damaged over time, but I just don't have enough points to put in there, plus you have to slot it in the champion bar. So that's how I run these ones. For a red tree, we're going to be running, I put 45 into Tumbling, just because I like to roll dodge a lot. We have 14k, which is enough for me to use anyways, but if you feel like you need more, like I said, you can go to Dark Elf. Then I come up to here, put 50 into Mystic. And then the main one we want is actually full points into Hero's Vigor. Gives us health, which is nice. Then from over there, we're going to put Defiance, which is going to reduce our cost of our roll dodge. I put 30 points into here. You don't have to max these out if you don't want to, if you don't have the points. But make sure you do Hero's Vigor, and then you can put some into whatever you want, like the Tumbling and all that stuff, just to unlock this. But our main ones we want is Jugernaut. This pretty much gives us 10% damage mitigation when we get stunned, so crowd control immunity. So when you're getting stunned and hit and off balance and all that stuff, this is what's going to help you out and deflect some of that damage for you. Then I use Rejuvenation for the health recovery, magic recovery, and stamina recovery. You don't have to go with this one, but I chose to because I want my recoveries a little bit higher. Ironclad for the armor. There's another one that's optional for you, but I chose to go with armor. I felt that I needed it, especially being in light armor. And then our other main one is going to be our max health, which is Boundless Vitality. These are a must in my opinion for this build. You don't have to run it this way. It's completely optional on what you want to run based on your stats and your playstyle. Then for our green tree, a green tree is just, this is whatever you want. Honestly, the main ones I would say use is Rationeer. So this increases our food by 30 minutes, which is really nice. And especially since we're using our tame takeaway broth, which is extreme, or clockwork citrus filet, I mean, which is extremely expensive. And then we are using liquid efficiency, and this is gonna give you a 10% chance to not consume a pot when you use it, so it can help you save on some pots. And then the third, which also would be a must for this, is Steed's Blessing. This is just going to increase our movement speed outside of combat, allow you to run up and try to catch people if they're running away, or catch up to anyone or a group, whatever you want to do. Helps reduce your stamina costs for sprint. And then I just put Professional Upkeep, but you really could put whatever else one you want on here. And then Steadfast Enchantment, this is a passive, so you don't have to slot it. It's just you can put points into it, and it will reduce your weapon damage enchantments DK. That's about it for the champion points. So if you guys have any questions, or comments, concerns, just put them in the comment section down below. I appreciate everyone stopping by. Hopefully I covered everything. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. I appreciate everyone stopping by, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.